No one in the NFL has what the Lions have right
They
now.
can suit up.
All of their coaches are former players.
I'm excited to see Ben Johnson.
Yeah, Aaron Glenn.
Over 40 picks,
A
man.
monster on the defense. He had more picks than I had touchdowns, man. I don't know. I don't like him anymore.
That's what makes me feel pretty good right now.
We got to bring it back home, man, with the Detroit Lions. Jeff, minicamp just ended for the Detroit Lions, and everybody seems to be excited, from Dan Campbell to Sheila Ham to the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson. What are you looking forward to seeing so far this season coming up with the Detroit Lions and all that they've done so far with the draft and offseason acquisitions?
It's really right now, and we talked about it, the coordinators. I'm excited to see Ben Johnson. That's number one for me. I mean, when I was on the morning show talking with Adam, when Ben Johnson was first, upgraded after Anthony Lynn was dismissed, this is a guy I've been advocating to be offensive coordinator for quite some time. So now that he's here and now he's working with the starters, he talked about making sure Jared Goff has a career year, which you like to see, that enthusiasm. But it's got to be Ben Johnson. I know what I'm getting out of Aaron Glenn. I know what I'm getting out of most of these players. Now the rookies I'm excited for, but Ben Johnson, even if he isn't calling plays, that's somebody that I'm looking forward to, because I think he can be a real stud in the city of Detroit.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up Ben Johnson as well as Aaron Glenn talking about the coordinators. Yeah. Your boy Dan Campbell had something to say about his coordinators and how he was excited.
To have your owner in the building and to be here and to know she knows who we are. She knows the issues that we have as it pertains to, could be anything from players to concepts to, it doesn't matter. Man, it could be what's going on in the weight room, because she's around and she's hearing all of it. And so she knows from our own perspective, Brad and myself, as to how we feel about certain things, where we feel like we need to go, where we feel like we're deficient, where we feel like we can really, and I just think when that's the case, man, I think that's a recipe for good things to happen.
This actually was a quote. This actually was a clip talking about Dan Campbell, how he feels about Sheila E. Sheila
Sheila E.
I
likes
love
her
Sheila
too.
E. Hey,
Great drummer.
Love Bizarre. Love
Great
Bizarre is one of
drummer.
my favorite songs. But this is Dan Campbell talking about Sheila Ham being around the organization, being around, being able to be seen, asking questions. And I think he's absolutely right. One thing I noticed when I played the game, when we saw the owner around, it meant that much more. When you see Woody Johnson coming into the weight room, he's always wearing the hat and the green tie, but you see him in the weight room, you see him in the training room, talking to players, hey, how's it going, how's the injury? When you see an owner around, you see that an owner cares, it makes you that much excited to be a part of a franchise or organization. It's just like when we see Chad come in. When you see Chad come in, it's like, oh, shoot, Chad's here.
That's true.
It's going to be a good week. It makes you want to work. It makes you want to go that much harder. So I think I like this, what he's saying about Sheila Ham.
And that's crazy you bring that up, because that's what I was going to ask you, is how does it, from a player's perspective, how does it feel when a person like Sheila Ford Hamp walks in? And that's awesome to hear. That's what you want to hear with a person like Sheila Ford. Number one, gives the players and Dan Campbell this new regime confidence, but it shows she cares, and it shows she wants to change the narrative. Now, people can sit here and crap on Ford ownership, but what you can't appreciate is Sheila's done everything in her power to take that next step and be there and be in person for these guys. So credit to her.
Yeah, it's not her fault.
No.
It's not her fault.
It's just the last name.
She's the last Ford that has an opportunity to take a chance at this team, and it's turning out that she's the best one so far. Let's face it.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Ford, when he had the team, he had one playoff run, right? They were good in the 90s, but he got them to the playoffs one time. And then you know the rest of the story, unfortunately. So here we are. And then the second time, you're talking about the coordinators.
Yeah.
So Dan Campbell went on to say he's liking what his guys are doing. Ben Johnson, of course, on the offensive side. And on the defensive side, Aaron Glenn. He says, I kind of like what they're doing. Spence, you can hit this one. He kind of likes, like they're playing a kind of a chess game against each other in the OTAs.
You want to feel like your coordinators are playing a chess game amongst each other, and you're trying to be one step ahead of each other, and because now it creates problems, and then you learn to solve problems, and then you go to the next thing, and I think that's how you really get better schematically, and then just developing your talent. What can they do inside the system? Where can we take advantage of a weakness on either side? And I feel like we're doing that right now. So that's what gives me. That's what makes me feel pretty good right now, because I can feel our coordinators playing the chess game, and we are. There's problems being solved and created on both sides.
And that's what's exciting about the Detroit Lions now. Now that they have some more players on the offensive side, now they're getting more players on the defensive side. it's no fun when you have one good offensive coordinator and one good side. One good coordinator and one good side of the ball. You beat up on the other side of the ball. It's good when you have a mix. I remember being with the New York Jets. We had Brian Schottenheimer, and we had a list of offensive players that could play the game. And then on the opposite side, we had Mike Pettin, who ended up being the Cleveland Browns head coach. But we had him, and then we had Darrelle Revis, and then we had Antonio Cromartie. You just get that battle in that. Each practice, each period, guys are trying to out-scheme the other guy. Guys are trying to play, run a Knights Bishop, you know what I'm saying, when you're doing 7-on-7. So it's good to hear Dan Campbell be able to talk about his coordinators like that, talk about his players like that, because when the coordinators feel confident, that's when the players start to feel confident, and then you see results on the field.
And Dan Campbell instills that. Like everybody, when Dan Campbell was first hired, and people like to bring up the reports when he was an interim head coach for Miami that he made his players do Oklahoma drills. He loves competition, whether it's players, coaches. This is what they're doing, whether it's Penei Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson or it's Ben Johnson on Aaron Glenn. And you heard Ben Johnson, too, speak about it at the press conference. Aaron Glenn wants to be the best coordinator ever in Detroit.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson's like, whoa. I want to take that title as well. So I appreciate that. If you want to be great and Dan Campbell instills that confidence, man, you got to love it.
You got to love this coaching staff that they put together. I know we've been talking about it, but it's unique. No one in the NFL has what the Lions have right now.
They can suit up.
Yeah, I really am looking forward to seeing Hard Knocks and getting down there to Allen Park. I mean, Corey Woods is down there. He's lucky, man. He gets to be down there every single day, and he's working his tail off. But he's down there and watching things happen, and to see these pros that I used to watch play now coach, it's really, I think it's, Bray, you got to like it. It's better than seeing this some guy that off the street coaching you.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing a peer coaching you.
The great thing I like about it with this team is, and you've talked about this early on in the year as we got my boy Adam Baydoun in the studio having a little fun on this Friday. Meow. Shout out to Super Troopers again. If you guys seen that movie, little meow action coming at you. But all their coaches are former players. Like it's nothing like having former players. They know what they're talking about. It's nothing like having a guy that's been in your shoes. It's nothing like having a guy that's been there. It's nothing like having a guy that understands what you're talking about. It's nothing like having a guy that may have had problems with the coach before, and he understands that. Like we used to do this thing in all training camps where it's coach vision. So basically, whatever coach is a former player, we will find his video or find his highlight, and you put up their plays. And, it always gets the guys going. It gets you excited. But at most, you got about 5 guys that used to play, or maybe 4, and you're looking for the highlights, and it's a couple. And you look at this highlight reel. Like, just imagine putting on Deuce Staley's highlight. How excited will a team get watching Deuce Staley's highlight? How excited is a team going to get watching Mark Brunell's highlight? What about Antoine Randall with the reverse pass in the Super Bowl at Ford Field?
Wow.
For a touchdown.
Nice
Glenn,
call.
Aaron Glenn.
Over 40 picks, man.
A monster on the DV. He had more picks than I had touchdowns, man. I don't know. Now I'm mad. I don't like him anymore. But it's just one thing when you see that it gets the guys going, it gets the juices flowing. And I think they have a very unique team and a very unique room, and I'm excited to see what that can look like this year. I'm still going with 6 wins, but damn it, I want them to win more.